Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? I'm just bringing this log fork up here and I'm going to sell it because I'm going to use the one that I used in the time-lapse. I'd like to show you all that log fork, and we're going to be doing a little bit of forestry. Most people said that they would like me to do a bit more today, just a few trees down there so that we sort of free up a little bit more land for mowing on. I have actually done a few jobs just in one of the fields over there. I did a harvest and then everything else that needed doing to it, so that we've earned a little bit more money. So possibly at the beginning of our next episode we will get some more pigs, which, before I go very much further, no, I don't want to do that one, I want to do this one. If you have a look at the moment, we have 71 pigs and 20 cows. And I asked you last week, did you want me to work all the way up to 400, 300, 200 or 100 pigs? Had quite a few responses. We had over 3,000 responses to this question, which was amazing, absolutely fantastic. 3,029 responses, and 121 of you want me to reach 300 pigs. 196 want me to get just to 100 and start selling after that. 569 said 200, but 2,143 of you said you want me to work all the way up to 400 pigs. So what I'm going to do is we'll buy another load, and that's going to, I think it's what, 21 pigs that we get, so that takes up to 92, and then it's only going to be 3 or 4 days after that, I think. I mean, maybe if we can afford it, we'll buy a couple of loads and just nudge it up a bit. After that, it won't take very long at all to reach the 400 target that we are now going for. But that is still to come. We haven't actually got to that yet. So what I'm looking for now is in front loaders, and it's this mod. Now, this is not available. So we got the extra large, or we got the standard, so we're going to go for the standard. This is not available on the mod hub. This is not one that you can get on the mod hub. And so there will be a link to this mod in the description down below so that you can download it for yourself and have a look at it. So obviously, because it's not on mod hub, unfortunately for anybody that does watch from console, you will not be able to use it. But if you are on PC, the scripts that it's got that add the straps to it so that you can pick up the extra logs, absolutely amazing. I genuinely love this log fork. It has absolutely transformed the whole forestry thing for me, completely transformed it. I've not really been that fond of forestry, purely because I don't like having to gather up all the logs. I just don't like that part of it. This one, it just makes it so easy. So what I was doing was basically I would get a load of logs there, and like in the time-lapse series, I did get together a load of logs with a front loader, not a front loader, a wheel loader, and in order to transport the logs out of that, I used an auto load. I did that in the last time-lapse series, and I relied heavily on auto load log trailers in order to do any forestry work that I've wanted to do, because I just don't like picking up the logs. I just can't get on with it. I don't like the physics, I don't like the feel of it. Because I have been a farmer in real life for so many years, I've done so much, and not just farming, because these days I'm a builder, and I do a lot of work. Not only do I just, work with my hands, but I also drive machinery there. I drive dumpers, I drive mini diggers, stuff like that. And so I'm very, very used to how things should respond when you pick them up with a machine. How things move, how things feel with the machine. And the physics of the game just don't allow for that. And that is the bit that I really don't like. It just feels wrong and almost alien to me when I'm trying to work with them. And so it really does spoil it for me, and I find it an unpleasant task. But with this one, even just picking up the logs in general, it's pretty good, but the extra ability for picking up the logs with the straps that come over, that is just fantastic. It makes such a difference to me. But anyway, right now we are here. If you have a look, we are by field 5 in 10, top right hand corner there, just below the lumber yard. I'm going to clear a load of trees here. I'm going to cut down a few on screen, and then I will finish cutting them, and then today we are also going to gather them all up with this log fork. I'm not going to bother cutting any of them into smaller lengths, because all of these trees are quite small. There's no really tall ones. They've all been done so that they're shorter trees. And so we can get rid of all of these. I probably won't do stump grinding on camera. I'll probably do that off camera. But I mean, this bit over here, this is too rough and bumpy anyway. We're not going to be able to mow any of this. So we'll probably just stick with these trees out here. There's those there, and come down and get a couple here. Don't think I'm going to bother with the deciduous trees because they're just so much more difficult to pick up, so much more awkward to move around. I don't know. We'll see what time we've got. So let me get started on this. Actually, let's cut this one down as our first tree. But before I do that, let me just show you my weekly question for this week. Now, I'm aware that we're sort of approaching, in another week or so, episode 50. And we're going to run this one for 70 episodes or so. So we are sort of going to need to make sure that I can do everything that I've already promised. I know we've got tractors and balers and stuff to buy. But I am hoping that I will be able to buy one more lot of land. And I've been working Field 23 and Field 25 in order to get the price down. And I've also done a little bit of work down here. So my question is, do you want me to buy Field 23 and 25 and sort of keep all of our land in a little group here, apart from the two fields that we got up here? Or do you want me to buy 36 and 35, or 35 and 36, whichever way round you want to put them? So we got a bit of land there right next to where the sheep are, because I thought it would be quite handy to have land close to the sheep, because in the next few weeks, our pigs will have achieved the correct numbers, and so we'll then be able to start expanding the cows and starting on sheep, because we are going to get all of the animals. So it's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below, let us know which one you want me to get and why. And of course, don't forget to actually vote up here for either Field 23 and 25 or for Field 35 and 36. Right, that's that bit out of the way. Let's get started on cutting some trees. We bring the chainsaw right over and I crouch down as low as I can. Take that one off there. Yeah, last week I was asking you to... Well, that wasn't part of the master plan. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I cut all the trees down, and then if I need to nudge some over with the Kramer, then that's what we'll do afterwards. Yeah, I did say about the break. You know, I have my morning break, and we call it crib where I'm from. And it would appear that even in the rest of the UK, nobody's ever heard of this word, and it does seem to be a thing that is unique to to Cornwall, right down in the southwest. I'm from Cornwall. It doesn't appear that anybody else has ever heard of the word. I did have a couple of people say, yes, they have heard of that, and they're also from Cornwall, so hi, anybody that is from Cornwall. Hello, how are you? The rest of the world, it is amazing the variety of breaks that, you know, the names that you call your mid-morning break. You stop for coffee in the middle of the morning. It is absolutely amazing the number of different names there are for this particular break. And one thing that did surprise me is that there was a few people in the States who said they never even knew that people had a mid-morning break, and they'd never heard of it until they started watching Farming Simulator. I can't imagine not stopping in the middle of the day. Not the middle of the day. Mid-morning. You have breakfast, and you have your coffee with your breakfast and so on, and whatever you're going to have. Some people will have breakfast really early, and because they start at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Very often you'll find that people that keep stock will start quite early in the morning. It does vary. I've started at all sorts of times of the day, depending on the farms that I've been working on. So, yeah, you've got... And then, you stop at like 8 o'clock for some actual breakfast, and then stop again at... What happened there? I think I was... Yeah, I'm trying to jump the tree here. And then others, they'll stop again. Some people have like 3 or 4 breaks throughout the day. And, yeah, ideal. If you can, that's brilliant. I normally have worked so that I would have I would start at between 7 and 8, have a break about 10:30-ish, we call that crib, and then we have another break for dinner time, anywhere from 12 o'clock and all the way through to 1:30, depending on where I worked. I always thought that 1:30 was a bit late for stopping for dinner, and then depending what time you stop for dinner, depends whether or not you have a mid-afternoon break. Mid-afternoon breaks are far less common, I found, than a mid-morning break. Just the way that everybody seems to work. But yeah, places in the States, they've said that they don't have any break in the middle of the morning. I just can't do... I can't imagine not having a break in the middle of the morning to go and have your coffee. How do you function? How do you do that? I mean, hats off to you. You have my utmost respect. If you can go all that time without a break, that is just impressive. Even when I'm on harvest, I would find somewhere to just pull over for just a couple of minutes to pour myself a cup of coffee and sort of put, like, 50% milk so that it was cool enough to drain it back quickly, just so as I could get some coffee down my neck. The idea of not having a break at all, oh, that's horrible. That sends chills down my spine. So hats off to you, utmost respect if you do that. Not really the sort of job that I would stay in. I've got to be honest. I don't think I would stay if I was unable to have regular breaks. Now, I've chopped down all of these trees, and they're all still standing. So I think we're going to now have a lot of running around and shoving with this one. And I'll nudge them over now, and then I will go off screen and delimb them all, because that's just going to be really dull, and then we can use this log fork. What's going on here? Right, there's one. This could take a while. Let me just get a couple of them, and then I will go and delimb them and finish knocking them all down, so that we've then got something a bit more interesting to watch. But yeah, on a final note about all of these breaks, so many of you responded with all the different names and stuff. One name that I did actually forget, I said about the morning tea in Australia is what we used to call it. I did actually get a response saying that a lot of places in Australia, they actually call it smoko, or smoko, I suppose it would be if you're in Australia. And I do actually remember something about that, but it just never... Yeah, I'm sure I've heard the word before, but I don't know where and when. So yeah, smoko in Australia, and the rest of the world, there is a lot of names, most of which I can't pronounce for the mid-morning break, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce them all. I would just say thank you very much. I really enjoyed reading all of your responses, reading all the different names you've got for them. It was really genuinely interesting to read it all. And if I wasn't able to respond to you, I apologise, but I have so many comments coming in now that it's literally not physically possible to respond to them all. Incidentally, I have a Facebook page, which some of you look at, and I also have a Twitter feed that some of you look at. I'm sort of, now it's getting that I don't have time to manage all of it. So my wife, Senleia, has kindly agreed to become the face of Twitter for Frithgar. And so she is now completely responsible for running the Twitter account. If there is anything she thinks that needs to be brought to my attention, she lets me know, and I do have a quick look in every now and then just to see any interesting comments and stuff. But she is now the one that is running Twitter, and she will probably step up and take over running the Facebook page as well. So basically, Senleia is going to become the social media guru of Frithgar, and that will leave me more time to concentrate on actually making videos and responding to comments on YouTube itself. So yeah, I think this is going to work out really well, because personally I think Senleia is great. Probably a good thing, really. But yeah, so she is joining up, well, she's following like a whole load of different machinery manufacturers and a lot of real-life agricultural and building stuff as well, in order to try and find like interesting machines and stuff like that to share with you all. She's also following a whole load of gaming pages and channels and stuff like that, so that she can share with you funny stories, just funny clips, things like that, and gaming related news as well, because I never intended this channel to be 100% Farming Simulator. I've never intended, I still don't intend for this to be 100% Farming Simulator. It's always been a gaming channel. It's just that at the moment we're 100% Farming Simulator. We're not going to stay like this at 100% Farming Simulator. I am going to be doing other games. I've already signed up to Cattle and Crops, which is another agricultural simulator, so it's not a big, you know, a big break from what we're doing right now. I think cattle and crops could be quite interesting. I do play on a fairly regular basis Euro Truck Simulator, so I could put a few games of that in. And eventually, when I've got time, I want to start another series on the channel of completely different game. It'll probably be 3 times a week. I don't know when I'm going to be able to start doing this. I have absolutely no idea at the moment. But it will be a completely different game. It won't be anything to do with farming or simulators or anything like that. And it'll be... Right, that one's not going anywhere. That one looks like he's... Okay, I'm stuck. That one's stuck up in the air as well. Right, I'm going to finish chopping down these trees and then delimb them all, and then I'll get back to you and we can start using this fantastic yellow loader. Oops. There. Okay, let's try that a little bit more majestically, shall we? Right, one last tree to trim the limbs from, and then we are done. Strip this one off through here. Right. That is all of the trees pushed over and delimbed. So now we get to use the fantastic log fork. Now then, let's get rid of the map. We don't need that one now. And if you take a look, you've got here in the controls, well, that's actually for the loader itself. There we go. Change tool, fasten tension belts. The only thing that you've really got on this is the fasten tension belts and then the open and close. Now, I have my... joystick that I use for my loader arm is set for using this, right? And so I got the buttons set for extending and pulling in the boom, and then for lifting and lowering the fork, like on the muck fork and this one as well. However, this one is inverted. For whatever reason, the forks on this one are actually inverted, so when you try to close the grab, you've got to use the opposite button. So I quite often get that wrong. So you can pick them up. It does pick them up really, really easily. You don't have any troubles at all picking them up. There's no... yeah, it's fantastic the way that it does it. One thing that I do notice is that occasionally the logs will actually stick to the forks like they have right there, and that is partly, I think, because of the whole the strap thing and how they work. Right, he doesn't want to pick up another one there. He has now lowered it down, so if we come forward a bit more, let's see if I can just pick up another one like this before we... Right, that's not going to happen. Okay, so then we open up the thing like this, open up the grab, and we move in close. And now I want to use the fasten tension strap. So I just press L, and that puts the straps around. L, there we go. And then it can pick up the logs. And what it does, once the straps are on, it locks them in position. So then, I don't know if you noticed on the time-lapse, so quite frequently I pick them up like this, and then would like grab hold of them again. Press L, and the logs drop back into the fork the way they should be. So you can hold on to them, press L again, and it locks them in place. So you don't actually need to use the forks. I mean, so then it's really up to you. You can go as close to realism as you want. If you get too many logs onto the forks, and it's struggling with the weight of them, they will start to jump around a little bit. There's one thing I've noticed, but just press, as soon as you notice anything starting to jump around a bit, press L, and that will get rid of it very quickly. So we got 3 trees here already. And the one thing that I like about this is that you can choose your own level of realism. If you can just stick with the actual grab itself. The actual grab itself is really good. It is one of the best log grabs that I have found so far in this game, just for being able to pick up the logs properly. Right, I've taken off the straps now. I'm just going to close the grab on it a bit. So you can... Even just using that, it's absolutely fantastic. I was really impressed with just how good it was at picking stuff up. And then if you choose to, you can also use the straps. You don't have to. But if you are finding that it's difficult to pick up some logs, or you just want to speed the process up, then you can use the straps, and they really, really do make such a difference. So yeah, you've got multiple options with this one, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Now what I want to do is I want to try and get these tipped in here without losing the kramer. So we get 575 on average, I would say, for each tree. It's not bad. I mean, I suppose it could be better. However, I have found out through a bit of research, through comments on the comment sections, 8 meters. That's what you want. You want to use a scorpion and you want to get your lengths to 8 meters. If you can get them to exactly 8 meters, that is going to get you your best amount of money. You want to delimb the trees and you want to get 8 meter lengths. If you have shorter than 8 meters or longer than 8 meters, you get less money for the same trees. I've found a couple of pages on Reddit that have done a lot of research into this, like really, really good, detailed research where they've taken the same tree in the same save game, and then chopped it in different ways, and then exited the save, gone back, done it again, etc., etc. Right, see how now it's stuck and it's not dropping out? In order to get that to come unstuck, the best way to do it is press L and put the straps on. It's changed. There we go. Press L, put the straps on, and then take the straps off, and it should drop, he says. It's not actually doing it this time. I did find that that was the best way to do it. Sometimes they kind of stick into the fork a little bit, which there's not a lot you can do about that. You just kind of, you've got to keep working with it sometimes. This is like my only real complaint with this fork, is the way that very occasionally they will stick onto the fork. But considering everything else about this fork, and the fact that it's available to use on a front loader, telescopic handler, or a wheel loader, your choice of any you want to use it on, I would say that is a small sacrifice to have to make in order to have such an amazing mod. So yeah, this is definitely the best forestry mod that I have yet encountered in this game. I really do love the auto-load logging trailers, but being able to just use the straps on this, it is just fantastic. So I'm going to use straps a lot now for the rest of this episode, just while we load this up, just so that we can really see what these straps can do. Let's go and get that one over there, and we'll sort of put the logs. If I drop these logs down here, and then we can pick them up in the middle, and because we got them facing different directions, I'm hoping it'll... No, I don't want to do it like that. Let me come over a little bit. Is it going to let it go? Yes. Coming into the middle, I'm sort of hoping that we can like even it out a bit so we don't have all the weight hanging out one side. It is difficult sometimes to get the right angle to see what you're doing. Right. If I come to here, is it going to get... Yeah, it's got all 3 of them. Perfect. So now I want to lift it up, tilt it right back like that, and then take the straps off and drop the logs back into my forks. And go and get the next one. I want to go this way and get this log here. We'll get 4 this time. Back round. So yeah, if I do decide to do a little bit of forestry in this map again, we will use the Scorpion, the Scorpion King, the Ponzi Scorpion King, in order to get all of the logs. There we go. Look, see, did you see that shaking? That was the shaking that I was talking about. And if it starts to go too mad, I'm assuming it would like launch your machine across the map. Whoa! Okay, I've never had it do that before. I'm guessing these logs are a little bit too heavy for it, maybe. But that is genuinely the first time I've ever had it do that. I'm guessing if I hadn't taken the straps off, it would have gone completely haywire. I have seen videos of the logs doing that, but I've never actually had it happen myself. So maybe we need to limit it to just 3 logs each time. That was great. Okay, so there is some issues with it, obviously. But I still think I stand by my initial analysis that this is definitely the best logging mod I have ever encountered, and it makes such a difference to the game for me. I mean, I really, yeah, it's just fantastic. So let me just whiz these over, and we get a few more. I will finish throwing all these logs in the pond between now and next episode. And then in our next episode, we've got quite a bit that we need to do to the animals. We've got to... the cattle are getting quite low on food. I am actually thinking very soon that we will have to make a bit more silage for the cattle, especially as we're thinking of getting a whole load more soon. So I'm not quite sure when that's going to happen. Just drop that one in there. So we seem to be averaging about 550 per log, which isn't too bad. I apologise for those of you who said you didn't want another episode of forestry, and also for those of you who said you only wanted me to do half an episode, but unfortunately more people said that they did want to see a bit more forestry than don't. I know some of you really don't like the forestry aspect of the game, but don't worry, we are going to be back to regular farming things tomorrow. If you take a look here at the cattle a minute, for there, well, all of them, the pigs are really low on everything. Cattle, they've got the power food a bit, and they've got the silage and hay. We'll dump some more of this one in, which will fill this one in, but we're going to need to go and mow some grass. We need to dump a bit of straw in, and water is all right. The pigs, we're going to need to run up and down there a couple of times in order to get a bit in for them. Although we've got corn growing up the other end, so I'm hoping that when we harvest the corn, we can just put that in. So we only need to take up wheat, barley, and... well, wheat or barley, and then one of the protein foods. And then when we harvest, we can put that in. We'll have to put some straw in up there and some water as well. And I'm also hoping to buy more pigs next episode as well. So yeah, it's going to be very animal orientated on our next episode, and fairly soon we will be starting our harvest as well. We've got... actually, I think one of our fields is actually ready to... yeah, these two, they're both ready to harvest. So we may start harvesting those two fields and then come back and get going with the animals and just sort of leave the combine going, and we'll sort of work between the two. I think that might be a better way of doing it. And then we can kind of kill two birds with one stone. I'm not really sure yet. I am going to have to wait and see, and sort of see how it pans out. I would like to... drop those two in there. Very soon, buy the tractor that I originally said I was going to get, and I believe we said it was a Massey Ferguson on this map, wasn't it? So I will get that one fairly soon. I'm going to... I know we're up to 92,000 euros now. I'll probably end up getting that one next week. I know we've bought some other tractors. People have expressed concern that I seem to have forgotten about the tractor. I really haven't. And I would like to get that one quite soon, and then we can upgrade some of our other machinery as well. I love this. Look at that. See how awesome those straps are? It just makes some little tiny tasks so much easier. Just sort of helps nudge things along. But anyway, I am running out of time, so I will finish doing this before next episode, and then I will just sort of let you know how much money that we've got after it. We'll just drop that one down there. My question for this week... Field 23 and 25, quite close to the farm here. I've been doing some work on those two fields, but I'm also thinking that maybe we should go for field 35 and 36, right down the bottom near the sheep. We're not going to have time to buy them all, but we will have time, I'm hoping, to buy two of them. So do you want me to keep all of our fields together and get 23 and 25 so that we sort of got our land up in... all together in a group, or do you want me to get 35 and 36, which is down near where the sheep are going to be, so that we've got some land near them, which I think might help to make things a little bit easier for when we come to start looking after the sheep, you know, for getting hay and grass and so on in for them when they need it. It's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below and let us know which one you want and why. And that is actually going to be today's topic of conversation. You know, exactly why you want these fields. Let's just stick with the weekly question for today's topic of conversation. And whether you think I should be buying a lot more land before we finish, or whether you think I've got enough land and I should be buying any more land. So, yeah, just have a chat about what you think of getting extra fields and so on now before we finish up the series. I think that's about it, really. I'll finish doing this, and we're back to animals tomorrow. If you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.